So, I got three phones in here. You can see them. On the left here, I got the Nexus 5X. Here I have the Oneplus 3T. And this one on the right is the ZTE Axon 7. Why do I have three phones? So, um, I had this 5X here for about a year and a half. It's a great phone for what I paid for it. It's the screen is not the best. It's got the plastic rubber back or whatever. It doesn't have that premium feel, if you will. It was time to upgrade to something else. That something else for me, I thought, was going to be the OnePlus 3T. Is a beautiful phone. The screen on this thing is just so rich. It's completely unrivaled. But I'll be honest with you, I hate the location of the fingerprint sensor, which in and of itself is not a deal killer, but it is not very accurate, especially coming from the 5X with this thing on the back is the perfect location. And I don't think this thing ever misread my fingerprint in a whole year and a half, maybe 10 times. This thing, the OnePlus 3T, it's, I would say, probably just about every other time I go to use it, it misreads. And of course, it won't do it now. There you go. It shouldn't be like that, guys. I don't know. The thing drove me crazy. The other thing about it was I really do not like phones that have opposing the volume buttons here, over here, and then the power button is here. And that also drives me crazy because on a phone this big, it's 5.5 inches, when it's this big, you're constantly, shifting the thing up in your hand to, I don't know, volume up or volume down, but then I'm actually accidentally turning off the screen, or, sometimes you hit the volume down and the thing at the same time, and then turn on the camera, you take a screenshot. Again, it drives me crazy. I don't like the placement of the opposing buttons. The phone itself, the speed that it worked with was great. The fingerprint sensor sucks. The buttons suck, and I'll tell you what else sucks. The auto brightness on here doesn't work almost at all. Like the A is on there. Okay, but what I can tell you is that when you go to use it in a dark room, it will not darken up all the way. You bring it back into a room with light, it stays dark. It's completely infuriating. The 5X, no issues. No issues with the fingerprint sensor. No issues with the auto brightness. It's a great phone. It's just kind of cheap and it's a little old, a little dated. Why didn't I buy the Google Pixel? Because Google really pissed me off when they demanded $649 for a 32 gig version of that phone, which to me is completely ridiculous. Just ridiculous, especially when you look at a phone like the 3T. This is $439 for this phone. It's almost fantastic. So enter the ZTE Axon 7, which I never had any idea of who ZTE was. Started looking around when I knew I wasn't going to keep this 3T, which has a 15-day return policy, by the way, so I'm waiting on the shipping label. Started looking around at different Android phones around the same price point and came across the Axon 7, which has the fingerprint sensor on the back. Yay. And the specs, I don't know, I don't really care. They're all pretty similar. I think the 3T has 6 gigs of RAM and this has 4. Yay. Other than the fingerprint sensor that's on here, this also has 2 forward-facing speakers. The 3T has 1 bottom-firing speaker, and I didn't think that was going to be an issue, but just try to use speakerphone where it's slightly noisy at all, and it's an issue. You wind up holding this thing right up to your ear, trying to hear what's going on. The ZTE Axon 7 is freaking awesome. I actually bought this on Swappa for $340. You got all the buttons on one side here, yay, score. I got the fingerprint sensor on the back, score. I got 2 speakers, score. And it's, I don't know, it's a great phone. It also has a, let me see if I can find it here. on this screen, see down here where it says 5811, it's got a pedometer on here, so it'll count my steps. These phones don't have it. I don't even think the iPhone has that. I thought that was cool. The fingerprint sensor is fast. Look at that. It just read it, no problem. It's comfortable. The thing works great. It has all the same GSM bands as the 3T, and I don't know about the 5X. You can look that up yourself. So it's got 2 gigs less of RAM. I don't care. This is the 64 gig version, which is cool. It has expandable storage with a mini SD card or micro SD card, whatever I call it now. The 3T had that also. I don't plan on using it because I barely filled up the storage on the old 5X, which was 32 gigs. But I'm telling you, out of these 3 phones at least, the Axon 7 is a lot better for me. I wanted to like the 3T. I wanted to love the 3T. Wound up hating it, you know. And my wife said, and I'm not big on taking photos with cell phones, but she said the pictures that I send her from the Axon 7 are clearer than the 3T. So you can argue that megapixel and shutter speed and crap and whatever all day. But if your wife says these look better than these, I'm going with this. So I don't know. That's pretty much it. So I figured I'd share it. I don't think anybody's probably going to watch this but Damien anyway. So Damien, if you're in the market for a $400 Android phone, go with the Axon 7. I think you'll like it, unless you're used to the stupid placement of, you see, like it did it twice right there. Didn't read my fingerprint. This thing wouldn't read it like maybe twice in 6 months. So I just I couldn't handle it. Anyway, that's all I got. Deuces.